In Natlan, we finally get introduced to the captain, number 1 of the Harbingers. And the first thing he does is fight the Pyro Archon. That's insane. Now there's not much we know about the captain, except that he is strong as hell.
The ever-righteous captain. The brave and fearless captain. The nigh invincible captain. Even my mechanical ears demand maintenance after listening to so many compliments from the members of the fatui. Don't you think that possessing absolute righteousness is actually a latent danger? And that's without taking his great personal strength into account.
He is very powerful, and that power comes with a high level of responsibility. However, I believe him to be someone worthy of respect, independent of the power he holds.
I've seen him in battle before, and oh, what a sight it was. Perhaps I'm ranked too low for him to notice me right now. Well, he may not recognize my strengths yet, but one day, I'll show him what I'm made of.
He is as hard as iron for having the courage to challenge gods as an ordinary mortal. I don't doubt that he could even take out a ruin guard by stabbing it in its big, glowing eye with one of Klee's crayons.
It is also implied from Nahida that the top-ranked Harbingers are as powerful as gods.
The top-ranked Fatui Harbingers, up to number 3, possess power comparable to that of gods.
So him being number 1 of the Fatui Harbingers, and based on what everyone says about him, he is that guy.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
He is pretty powerful. Knowing that much, people are disappointed that he lost in the fight against Mavuika, the Pyro Archon. There are also people who are debating whether or not he did lose. Well, based on what we saw, he did lose. Not because he got hurt and took a knee, by the way, but because he retreated. As you know, how he retreated wasn't entirely his own doing, because it was, as Mavuika states,
Masters of the Night Wind.
So it was 100% this guy, Ororon, who did show up at the end of the Archon quest.
As for you, I must confess, I did not expect that little trick of yours to save the day.
No matter how dense the fog, as long as the sun remains, we cannot turn day into night. She could have dispelled it. She simply chose not to.
However, willingly retreating or not, the result is still the same. The captain retreated, which is a forfeit of a match. He lost. But just because that is the case, let's not discredit our man here. He is one hell of a strong person. He went toe-to-toe with an Archon, a Pyro Archon of War at that. And just because Mavuika was a mortal before Archonhood doesn't mean she should be discredited too. She is super powerful as well. She's exactly what the captain says about her.
The Archon of Natlan. A force to be reckoned with.
The captain and Mavuika are overall pretty evenly matched, which is impressive. They traded many blows with each other. One of the blows from the captain was rather awesome. He kicked the shit out of her and sent her flying. He even got an impact frame. That right there goes to show that this guy ain't playing around, alright? Do not underestimate my mans. They both fought amazingly. Then, later they broke each other's weapons. And then they both went for a punch, which caused an insane explosion, which left the captain on his knee and with a mark. Just a mark, mind you. Most people probably would have just died from that, to be honest. The Pyro Archon also happened to be a bit exhausted, but both were clearly ready to keep going. And if I know anything about anime fights, it's that most of the time when a character gets hurt, they get stronger. They get back up and lock in. You see this as Mavuika is walking towards the captain and he was about to do something with his hand, but you know, he didn't because of that guy. So yes, overall the captain did lose the fight, but that's not a bad thing because in the end he showed great strength against an Archon who are known to be among the most powerful beings in Teyvat. He is also not done yet. He has a goal in Natlan. There will be a round 2. It's just gonna have to wait because the Archon sacrificed her power. This means that the captain will not fight her yet until she's full strength. We know this because he is the righteous captain after all.
Victory and defeat are rules, not outcomes. I have never taken advantage of an opponent in a time of weakness, and I don't intend to start now.
We still have much more to see from this guy. Obviously, he didn't use his full power here because we know that the Harbingers typically have some other form of power. Child's Foul Legacy form, Signora's Crimson Witch of Embers, Scaramouche's, does his Megatron suit count? I don't know. He's an exception. Then you have Arlecchino, who has her Cinder of Two Worlds Flames form. So yes, knowing that everyone except maybe Scaramouche has another form of power, I think it's safe to say that the captain has more to show off, okay? Especially for a guy who can take on gods. As for the reason why we didn't see this power in that fight is beyond me. I don't think he was necessarily holding back because it just doesn't make any sense. Why would he do that? Especially since he did get hurt and he has a personal goal for Natlan. You think he would use everything he has, but I think he just couldn't use the power yet. I have no idea why, but that's what I feel is the case. Some people think that it could be some case of a curse or illness because of this line.
You don't have much time, and you're injured on top of that. What do you plan to do next?
I'm beginning to see just how useful you may turn out to be. You heard something from here, didn't you?
Maybe, but when he states you don't have much time, could mean many more things. Like maybe other people from the fatui will soon get involved, and that will essentially put a wrench in the captain's own personal plans. I don't know. Anything could be implied here, but we'll find out soon enough. In conclusion, two people, a Pyro Archon and a Harbinger, fought. It was a cinematic masterpiece. The Harbinger lost because he retreated. But this isn't a bad thing. You could also see this as a draw or unfinished fight, as both contestants have more to show off. Either way, both need not be discredited, as we're seeing two of the most powerful people in Genshin fight each other. And that's awesome. So, let me know what you guys think down below. I think this is an interesting topic to discuss, but yes, I'm looking forward to what's happening next. This is just awesome. Alright, both these characters are awesome, and I think I've grown to like them a lot. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you Chad Muffins later. Oh!